Let's go then. Game 2. Can LG fight their way back into this? Spacestation Gaming, though, realistically, against opposition like LG, this should be a walk in the park to an extent, but it's not being so far. Full split is really seeing Space Station start to struggle even more so, and that's why there's this talk of Splice maybe taking the auto-guaranteed spot to DreamHack from North America away from them.
Well, Splice are biting their nails right now that Luminosity managed to make this one go out to a Game 3 at least, because that would just make the road all that much easier for Splice. I think that's the main downside, or if you're a Space Station fan at home watching this, that would be the main downside of dropping a game or even the set to Luminosity, is the fact that Splice would then have an advantage.
Pele, Freya, Chernobog, Circa, LG with the first pick selection. Mercury is available again, and Mercury is exactly what we're going to see one more time. We did see the Vamana last game as well. Now, we were talking on the desk about maybe it's a for BaRRaCCuDDa situation. How did Kiki end up doing against that Athena lane?
I actually don't think that Kiki had an awful time in the laning phase, but he wasn't really able to get pressure like you would probably want to do against an Athena, because during the early laning phase, that's the most abusable period for her as a Guardian. She has relatively decent clear, but it still takes her a little bit longer than most warriors or even some of the other Guardians, and so I would kind of like to see Kiki on a more aggressive pick if this is to be a Baron. I think the problem is the fact that it's just so untellable whether or not this is going to be Baron for the solo role or if it's going to be Jeff on Baron support.
A bit of salty runbacks coming through here. Baron and Athena for Spacestation Gaming. Mercury, Vamana one more time. Did they draft Rama in game 1 LG? I believe
they
so.
did.
Yeah.
They did in their top 3, except last time around they had Agni, and this time it'll be the Vamana right away.
Yeah, they picked out a little bit earlier on, and the Medusa 2 for Space Station. Into the caravans we go. Most of this will probably fall towards, well, jungle from LG, I'd say. Maybe some support options and some mid-laning options from Space Station Gaming. Agni, Chiron so far.
I like the Agni ban away. I think that was giving Space Station some troubles as far as contesting the objectives were concerned. There were some very clean team fighting moments though from Space Station. I think that's where we saw more of the flaws from this roster swap take place in Luminosity's side of things, because they didn't really seem as all together underneath those objective calls, and so I think that there was a lot of hesitation from Luminosity's side. I want to see them look to just charge all in commit, because we saw what happens when they do actually commit. They nearly beat Space Station.
Yeah, they nearly did. Susano this time round. Andy going to play that back in the jungle more than likely. We've seen a little bit more of it this split as well, but Nox in response from Luminosity. Tell you what, this Nox pick is pretty damn good against some of the gods that Space Station have drafted here. So many silences.
I'm looking mostly towards the Athena, though. I think that Aquarius or Jeff, whichever they decide to make it, you're going to have a lot of difficulties even just looking for the initial dash away on the Athena. I love how much interrupt potential Luminosity has. This is a frustrating composition from LG.
It's a big game to put Morrigan in the mid lane for Luminosity, though. NotGeno coming in, you know, to the mid lane position, and second game going to take on one of the, well, the most difficult god in the game, technically. You guys at home get to decide who you think will win this game. Tell you one thing, though, Space Station's last pick there, we've not spoken about it yet, but Odin into this comp, dream scenario.
I think that is the dream scenario for Space Station, and they have pretty decent follow-up for that cage also, so they might have just solidified a slight upper hand exchange here in comparison to Luminosity, but I want to touch on that Morrigan. You might be surprised. I think Geno's going to throw you for a loop here, and maybe a couple of people back home who are watching this.
I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just
he
like,
was one of the original
SPL.
Morrigan support players, I think, and so he was one of the first people to begin theory crafting that, so I'm curious to see how well that's going to transition over into his mid lane play style.
Well, I'm excited to see how this Baron more than likely does in mid lane too, which is going to be interesting, seeing it once or twice. The casters are standing by though. It's Anatoly and F-Dot. Take it away, boys.
Standing by here. Red 1. Shh. You ready to go, Tully?
I'm ready.
It's like we're in a fighter plane.
So am I the co-pilot then?
You're like the flight attendant. Anyway, thank you so much there,
I'll take it.
Hindu and Taco. Great job on the desk. As always, Inbowned here. And I love that I love right away, Inbowned, coming from the console side of things, places what I consider his signature Terra, and then not afraid to go into the oddball stuff, playing the Nox support, which has, I really like Nox support. And Geno playing the Morrigan. This is a character that he plays so well, they tried to play it in support.
So Bobby's played Nox support in the console world before, so it's not like he's a stranger to the goddess.
But the stage shift.
Sure. If anything, he should feel more comfortable probably now around LG specifically than he would be in previous Astral Authority because of all the other control that's on the table here, specifically from Geno. Geno and Bobby going to be looking for a lot of burst damage. I think it's up to Spacestation Gaming to drop a lot of vision control and really identify the path that Geno's about to take.
The Luminosity so far doing well in the invade department. Both red buffs belong to them. Inbound to get on out of there as well.
Going for his dash to level 2, respectful, knowing that he could be in a little bit of trouble. Means that he has to wait till level 3 though to get that full Silence Puddle root combination going.
Even still. Geno is who I'm looking at in this game. The Morrigan from him has been a powerful pick in many arenas outside of competitive gaming. Like I said, they tried to put it into that support role, and he wasn't the most successful, although it had its merits. And he could get rotated on here by Geno, and he... Oh, no. Yeah, come on. Oh, we can play it safe. 2 versus 3. This is problematic. Inbound here as well. Dashing forward to JeffHindla. BaRRaCCuDDa half HP. Weakened it. Inbound trying to find some sort of control. Inbound is in the middle of everybody, not doing anything, and he dies for the first blood. Spacestation Gaming pile on and pile out.
Geno was the little bait, the little juicy piece of meat that was dangled right above Spacestation Gaming, but then Inbound put himself a little bit too far out of position by using that dash offensively, trying to do some damage. I understand the thought process, but at the end of the day, that wasn't a fight I think that Luminosity should have continued to take after Geno was already out of the equation. Inbound didn't have his full combo up, still only sitting at level 2, and that was the difference maker.
If Inbound has a leash and a dash, or, I mean, best case scenario for that situation, the leash and the puddle, right? Let's take a second look at the first blood real quick. See what happened there. So BaRRaCCuDDa just in some trouble, gets stunned out, uses the beads, but then this is where it goes wrong. Inbound, it gets aggressive right here.
Yeah, he goes a little bit too far forward. BaRRaCCuDDa was relatively healthy after some of the healing done from Venenu's Baron Samedi, and between the Baron's Brew Potion being ticking along the way, BaRRaCCuDDa was able to top himself off and get out of it. Bobby had too much red in his eyes.
Yeah, just like I said, if Luminosity support is level 3, I think that goes LG's way. I think they had great positioning, they had a couple of tools, but just, you know, one hammer short of a symphony.
Possibly. I still think Bobby dies before Barra dies by far there, seeing how healthy BaRRaCCuDDa was at the very end of it. I think that there needs to be more of a long-range poke battle as opposed to a battle mage style coming from Inbound. You can't be that close. If anyone needs to be that close, it's got to be Geno once you hit level 5.
That's fair.
To be able to get the stun off and then transform instantly for the secondary engagement after the fact.
Kiki reprising his role on the Vamana. Aquarius now on the Odin. 2 of the very few characters that can impact your attack speed like we were talking. Kiki's going to get stuck in the ring, can't heal in it in the big baby form, does it anyway, and falls down. Very,
Some protections while you use Colossal Fury. Probably could have used it earlier, but with andinster right around the corner, Typhoon not even necessary, a very clean, cut and dry kill. I expect that to be a consistent strategy from Spacestation Gaming.
Geno going to need some strategy to get on out of here. The invisibility will work. Nice pitch. As Venenu comes from the front, but Andy comes from the back, takes down 1. Weaken's going to be second if they can get the range. And you know what they say. When you've got the range, you hit the target.
And then you get the kill, absolutely.
If you have the
Spacestation Gaming now with their 4th kill. Colossal Fury still coming back on cooldown. You don't get the healing during the ring, but those protections tried to save his life was Kiki.
Mitigation coming out from Aquarius.
Oh, this is such a feels bad moment. I think they still kill Kiki here.
Kiki knock players up, runs to the left. Kiki will get out of there.
Wow.
And you know what? The name
Run.
fits. So cheeky.
The
for solo
juke
lane.
not able to hit the sonic boom, sacrificing Aquarius to take away the speed buff to bait out the sonic boom. This allows Venenu a lot of freedom now in the middle lane, not having to worry about those two factors.
Geno and Inbound on the front side. Venenu not going to be surprised here. Geno, so much damage from this mid lane. Baron, I don't think players are really expecting it. Pretty Prime tried to play the Baron in the mid lane. Went all right. Venenu's Baron, however, just
A lot of damage.
already very successful.
A lot of damage. That life of the party coming up in a moment's notice. Venenu going to take a little bit of poke damage there. Left side mid harpies are still available. It's a little bit of a trade-off. Little standoff, rather, as andinster approaches the mid lane now as well. And I'm expecting more of this kind of grouping from both teams. Despite being down 1-4 in the kill department, LG is not a team that's striked me, or anyone for that matter, as a passive team. They're always opportunistic about looking for any sort of plays, and if there's anyone that they can go on, Venenu in the mid lane not having any gap closers should be the primary focus, especially with this beat still down for 40 seconds. They're waiting on weakened Sonic Boom, however.
Yeah, the mid lane definitely, I'm with you, should definitely be the focus. Aquarius drops the ring one more time as Weekend shows up trying to find an ultimate. Or rather, trying to find a gank. No ultimate available.
Oh, not like this.
Weekend gets Okie-doke. Andinster around the back end takes care of Weekend. Kiki avoids some of the damage, but not all. The ultimate protections, yes, also CC immunity. Meanwhile, mid lane, a different fight. Geno goes down for the second time.
No beads available and no ultimate to change into anyone. Second speed buff in a row goes the way of Spacestation Gaming. And this is going to hurt Weekend even further.
Ooh, Kiki got what he was looking for there. Fun interaction with the way Odin and all leaps work with the way they interact.
Hold that thought, though, because under the Tier 1 tower, making the rotation is JeffHindla with the Defender of Olympus. A 3-man gank, giving Kiki his second death of the game.
So why don't you tell us what Kiki was looking for and got there on the right side with the knockup?
So before that primary gank, what Kiki was doing was preventing the bird bomb combination. As soon as Odin lands, there's got to be a pixel frame perfect disrupt. Doesn't matter what that disrupt is. Whether it's a stun, knock up, even a silence potentially goes a long way. And the whole idea is to prevent that from even happening. And there's that interaction where once you land, if you get disrupted, you do no damage. And that's why Odin is less popular sometimes as of recent because of that interaction.
Sure, I would.
Because he was always played back in the day until people finally figured that out.
Right. I don't know if that, because it's still very difficult to pull off. I don't know if that's what keeps Odin in the wings, but I do think that's why.
Or at least in the solo lane.
Sure. I think that's why we see Inbound playing the Nox here. It's definitely a big part of it. The silence puddle effectively shuts that damage down, right?
Oh, yeah.
You just silence out, because it's got to be, like you said, it's got to be frame perfect. But if you've got this extended silence pool like Nox does, you just put it down wherever he's going to jump, and he gets 0 damage from that lunge Raven Shield combo. Jeez, when was the last time we said lunge Raven Shield combo instead of bird bomb?
Just now.
How about before that, Tully?
I'm not an encyclopedia for you to just call upon, Tom.
Oh man, Geno taunted and jaunted one more time. Third death for the newly christened mid laner. You know who coined the phrase bird bomb? I'll give you a hint. He was a commentator. Clout right now, thinking about being a commentator. This is going to get played right here. Taunt. JeffHindla gets a kill. 2-0-3 for the Long Island native.
Oh my goodness, it's a bloodbath as Spacestation Gaming get their 10th kill in less than 10 minutes of play.
Weekend here doing his work as well. Now Aquarius tussling in lane, but that's it. Any guesses on who coined the bird bomb phrase? No. I mean, no, not at all. I wouldn't pose the phrase like that.
I can see you doing that. Bart?
No.
Kret. Kret.
Maybe go for it. You are correct. It was Kret. Kret was the one who coined bird bomb.
Because I'm like, this is too like niche.
I love the way Space Station do that. They know that Weaken's lurking, and so they bring the Gold Fury into the cove because Weaken's ultimate will come in a straight line and can't hit that unless he's coming at an angle.
Uh-oh, andinster trying to get out of that angle. Gonna avoid any unnecessary damage there. Going for his own speed buff, whereas Kiki is kind of invading the back camps. Keep in mind, this is where he died for first blood that one time.
Much different
in the first
scenario
game, I think
now.
it
More
was.
players on the map. But again, Venenu just goes for Geno. Able to take down the enemy mid lane mage. Venenu probably going to trade out his life here. Weaken finds kill number 2.
Should have held on to the beads after getting that first primary kill onto Geno. He knew he was a sitting duck, wanting to buy an extra couple of seconds. Maybe was hoping that the heal would top himself off so that he can get under that tier 1 tower, but too many Luminosity jerseys around Venenu to get back into that safety.
11 minutes in, nice and early. Spacestation Gaming have a pretty silly lead, and they're just looking to push it even further.
This is getting out of control in terms of the kills. Now, gold-wise, 3,700 at 11 minutes. It's not the worst.
It's pretty bad.
It's getting scary. It's getting very dicey. Gold Furies, the second one is where it's going to really matter.
I mean, you want to talk about scary. We're already past Goosebumps. We're like, are you afraid of the dark level scary?
Oh my goodness, don't remind me. I still have like flashbacks of 2 specific episodes. One of them was the pool one, like the Phantom in the pool, and the other one was like the vampire one.
Oh.
Do you remember that vampire?
No.
It's like a ghoulish, greenish vampire. It was super weird.
Like Baron? He's got that like ghoul skin.
Yeah, the ghoul skin is what got me.
Andinster here, trying to look for Inbound. Nice knock up there, and Inbound in trouble. Where's the taunt? And he turns him to a ghoul. Nice play there. A baker's dozen for SSG.
They're not done with all the pressure. They're consistently stripping away LG buffs, whether it's the speed or the red. Now it's Kiki. You can't get out of the cage like that. Venenu gets credited with that kill. Snipes onto andinster.
Ooh.
Third one a little bit off the mark there. Nice try from Clout. But at the end of the day, Spacestation Gaming are just unrelenting pressure, choke holding onto LG, not even allowing them outside of the safety of their tier 1 towers.
The pressure that Spacestation Gaming has had has been really impressive. SSG has leveraged Venenu's dominance in the middle lane and translated that directly into red buff invades. The first round of buffs went to LG pretty handedly, and then after that, everything has been SSG's name like they got it monogrammed. Looking at Venenu, sometimes, and this is fun because you draft up strategies and you kind of plan the game out, and that was very much Andy is going to carry the early game and do the thing. But then as you actually play the game, in all actuality what winds up happening is Venenu just dunked on Geno 3 times in a row.
Oh yeah.
And the team went, all right, so instead of spreading the floor and looking all across the map, we're just going to sit in Venenu's lane because he's dunking Geno like it's an 8th grade pool party. And a big part of that is what's allowed Space Station to do their thing.
Oh, Inbound is going to get caught inside that cage while Weaken going to get zoned away. Not going to find any kills quite yet. Speed buff still available, but it's Geno that punishes Venenu.
Weaken's missed ultimate is going to mean, oh, that's just a bad look there, but not a good play from Weaken. Geno gets away for the moment despite the taunt from JeffHindla. Inbound kind of gets caught up. Weaken just throws his life away, unfortunately. Oof. Kurt, you can do better than that, man.
He's not afraid to take risks, but he needs to be a little bit more patient sometimes. I'm still remembering the one time in the first game when he ultied in the solo side, when he missed, I believe, one member. I think it was Jeff on the Baron that he was going for, and he did a very early ultimate, it's like no hesitation, which is his greatest strength and his weakness as well. The fact that he doesn't wait at all.
Yeah, it's like that lit song, I am my own worst enemy.
Oof, that damage over time. Cloud not even to fire a single shot in his ultimate. This could be a solo kill.
Kiki going for it. 2 levels down from Aquarius. Will get the heals now. Aquarius has to turn back around. Kiki likely to back to base. Does have the teleport available, so he'll be back in this lane nice and easy.
Phantom for Kiki as well. And that's a good call for him to get it, honestly. Well, maybe Bobby would have been better too, but the fact of the matter is Bobby's still level 9. He's not getting his second relic anytime soon. And 15 minutes into the game, when you're down 4 kills to 17, you don't have the luxury to sit around and wait for Bobby to hit level 12.
Not at all. You've got to just keep on trucking. Gloves finished for BaRRaCCuDDa so far. And 40 stacks on what Clout's got. So a little bit behind there for the Canadian Hunter. Luminosity struggling a lot. Game number 1 was kind of close. They even had a moment where they might have been able to snatch it. But 7 thou down nice and early at 15.5.
Still needs to find a way to crawl their way back into this one is LG, because this is the point where you got to be thinking about the ways that you can win sets, the best of 3s into the placement rounds and stuff like that, being able to find victories and switch up picks and bans, because the gameplay is certainly there. Like they made a lot of plays in game number 1, but when they get off to a slow start,
yeah,
how can they leverage that into a win? Like, because when they're behind, they just stay behind.
It's very true. And as we said, this is Luminosity's first go with this roster. And Inbound going to be taunted. Half HP on the new support. Tosses out the ultimate. That's a well-timed ultimate. And Luminosity should look to capitalize. Kiki on the back line, looking to push out Venenu. He does have help from JeffHindla. There's the shots from Clout. So accurate. And all the way from Canada. Takes him down, but it's 2 for SSG.
Venenu fell earlier on, but still on the chase is Spacestation Gaming, because Gino goes on the chopping block. Next in line is going to be Clout. Aquarius is making it rain. Trip skis.
Aquaman. Aquarius. This is the type of performance that Aquarius had. 4 kills for the Odin man. Odin slam. This is the type of performance that Aquarius had once upon a time that kind of broke him out of his mold and said, all right, I'm going to play Odin. I'm going to be aggro, and I'm going to be a focal point of this Space Station Gaming roster. And Toli, he kind of had some stumbles since those moments in the spring split. But as Space Station starts looking for the fall and starts realizing that they might not be on the easy trip to DreamHack, it's imperative that Aquarius dial things up and start to have this type of impact, because this team is only at its best when all 5 players are operating. Venenu might kind of overperform for some players, but I need Aquarius to be doing that.
Absolutely. The fact of the matter is his positioning is crucial for zoning and then following it up with the cleanup. He narrowly avoided the dash from KikiSoCheeky at the very end of it, and that's what allowed for that very last quadra kill. Very impressive stuff, and that you hit the nail right on the head, Tom, because they're not the number 2 team the way that they used to be. Splice has just snuck into the conversation.
Let's take a second look at Aquarius's reign of terror here. You said zoning and cleaning up. I'm going to make it rhyme, Toli. He's just zoning and poning. Just old school gamer lingo coming back here, because this is as old school as it gets. Just Odin, smash.
Boom. Goes for the 4th one as well onto Kiki. And look how he avoids this dash. Very it was andinster, I believe, that avoids the dash too.
Impressive. Aquarius just making sure everybody gets in trouble. 22-5. 22 was Nickelodeon when I was a kid. Fire Giant. No cartoon there. All real. SSG taking the Big Daddy down.
It's definitely not SeaWorld, because this is as real as it gets.
Is SeaWorld fake?
No. You'll get the reference later. I'll remind you.
I mean, are you talking about Aquarius being aqua like SeaWorld? No. He's like a killer whale.
No. It's a song.
Well, I like to think of Aquarius as a killer whale.
It's from Lonely Island.
And Aquarius is a killer whale.
He has his flippy floppies on.
Andinster is kind of like what's a fast animal? Like a pangolin. They're like armored anteaters. They're really adorable. Venenu? Now, Venenu, he's kind of like a red panda. He's kind of like a red panda, where he's like adorable, but he will just eat your face off.
Vicious. Yeah.
You gotta watch out.
Vicious and malicious.
Yeah. JeffHindla? You ever see those ocelots? No, that's the wrong word. Lemurs with the big eyes. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
big eyes.
I do. Yes.
And they have hands like people, and a big tail. That's
Okay.
JeffHindla. But that's just because I like JeffHindla and I like those animals. And then BaRRaCCuDDa. I mean, I guess he's just a barracuda, right? He's like a fish with big teeth.
Sure.
So Spacestation Gaming, they've got the Ark. They're ready to go.
And it's ready to get out of there with the ultimate from Defender of Olympus.
This. Andy has one player coming to him, and the entirety of LG has to run away.
They tried to just get off relics, honestly, at the end of the day. Also getting off the Mad Guy's cloak. But the Defender of Olympus was expended, which means that there could be some backline penetration as a result. Not having that 20% damage mitigation could allow Weekend to really start bursting down some members. But he's not at the same power spike play that he was in the last game. Still working on the Deathbringer currently. And until he gets that item, his impact is going to be just less meaningful.
Ocelot's a cat. Can't believe I mixed it up with the lemur. Space Station on the right side, looking for the Phoenix. Kiki blown up. He's supposed to be tanky. Gino walks on out after channeling the Odin ring for ring. We got the Olympics going on here. Girdle popped. Frenzy means fight. Clout lands on the ground and Space Station waiting for him. Andy won't be able to get the grab, but Inbound goes down to the hand of the support player. Right, Phoenix. History.
5-on-3, not going to go for the end quite yet. 2 towers remaining, and this is the difference between Space Station Gaming and LG. They're calculating out all these little things, all the small nuances that need to be stripped away before the end.
I think if SSG got a deicide, they go for the win.
Sure, but that's not the case here. It was a 5-on-3. Whereas where LG went for the end last game, it was a 5-on-2.
One.
No,
Just
Jeff
Aquarius,
respawns.
and then they respawn.
Yes. You have to calculate those respawns as well.
That's fair. Weekend lining up the ultimate. A lot of Magi's cloaks in his way. Inbound has the grab onto Hindla. Andy going to the right side looking for Gino.
As he
Genius is
should.
activated, and that's that.
As he should. The Mad Guy's cloak allowed him to make that play. Ring goes in and zones away LG from the defense. Phoenix a little bit low, but it's the reset. This time it's Gino with the Odin cage as well.
Ultimate coming through from Weekend, gonna wrap a couple of players up. Weekend gets one. Venenu sits down.
Good body block.
JeffHindla could be next. Taunt onto Kiki, lining up BaRRa, not gonna find it. Knocked in the air. BaRRa's toasted. KikiSoCheeky taking care of the hunter.
Oh, andinster. Cool guys don't look at explosions as he just storm caught us away like anime. He like basically cut him down in half and goes through him with the third strike of Storm Kata.
Oh, is that from Naruto, man?
You got me. Probably like 90% of the animes out there. I'm not much of an anime watcher, actually. But that just looked anime to me.
I don't believe that. I think you love anime.
I mean, there is this one cool show on Netflix called like BaRRaCCuDDa.
Were you the one that told me that you loved Boku no Piku? Is that
No,
you?
that's Cyclone Spin.
Oh, okay. I thought you were a big fan of that. 25 minutes on the clock. Rather, 25 kills. Wow. Space Station have more kills than there are minutes in the contest.
That's been the whole entire game. They're
That's
just
anime.
Finding it.
Frenzy popped. LG trying to get what they can, chasing down this Gold Fury.
That's how you know you're behind. When it's an uncontested Gold Fury and you feel threatened enough to the point that you need that extra 3 to 5 seconds of clear time to pop your Frenzy.
Hey, man. I respect it. They're 11,000 gold down.
Sure.
And in game number 1, they were very competitive. Game number 2, not so much. And it's a long time till we get to stall moment.
Well, the thing is, LG's not expecting themselves to defend the Fire Giant, so that Frenzy is coming back up at the end of the day for the Phoenix defenses. I don't expect them to try to defend the Tier 2 tower. It's a little bit too far away from the safety of their Titan/Fountain room, so I like to see them just honestly give up the Tier 2 tower because at the end of the day, Space Station Gaming already very close to that 6-item slot anyway. That 1,500 gold is not going to change the course of the game.
This is a problem, though, because Luminosity, I speak a lot about the delay tactic and how important it is to kind of stall the game out to even it up. We are 15 minutes away.
If you try to stall outside your own base, whether it's Fire Giant or even at the tier 2 tower, you're going to get taunted. You're going to get life of the partied. You're going to get trapped in the cage. You're going to get knocked up by Andister's Typhoon. And then you're going to see BaRRaCCuDDa's scary face.
Again, I think BaRRaCCuDDa has a very adorable face.
No, he doesn't. He's playing Medusa, F-Dot. That's the joke.
But I think John has a very nice face. And I think you should not talk about our players like that because he's a pretty man.
No one's saying he's not pretty. I'm saying he has a scary face.
I think he has a
You
very
can still
approachable face. I think he is a very warming look.
Yeah? Then why did you knock down his Smoothie King?
You know what? I'm going to take that as if you said Smoothie, King and called me king. I was just feeling rambunctious that day. But if I looked into BaRRaCCuDDa's eyes, I probably would have calmed down. Anything's possible.
It's true.
Right now.
Especially when you have the power of anime.
In BaRRaCCuDDa's eyes as he's looking for... He's on the hunt. 2-1-9 for the Hunter. Second overall player damage on his team.
But look at Andister's scoreline. 10-0-10.
Yeah.
Making the plays happen and also thinking defensively by going for the Mad Guy's Cloak. Very important considering that when he blinks in that back line, he does not want to get silenced by Bobby that's playing this Nox. And with that silence down, it could be go time now.
It could be.
That's all it takes.
Keep in mind that Weaken's in the middle. JeffHindla blinks forward, gets a taunt onto one. Double knockup, inbound in trouble. Frenzy means fight. And Kiki looking to turn things around. Clout starts this one off. It takes down Andinster. That's an important, impressive kill. But BaRRaCCuDDa and his beautiful face takes care of Kiki.
Now 1-for-1. Jungle for solo. Still thinking about going in. Spacestation Gaming utilizing the Fire Giant buff to their best potential. The right side Phoenix has respawned for LG. No real fire minions to take advantage of. Weaken gets taunted and forced the beads away.
Space Station still here. Andy's dead, but so is Kiki. It's a 4-on-4. Quick, before they get into it, I want to point out a new nickname for BaRRaCCuDDa. BaRRaCCuDDa, because he's cute. Left side, still being the focus. Space Station Gaming trying to go in. Jeff finds the taunt onto Geno. He's able to avoid it a little bit, but Aqua's going to find the slow onto Clout. Space Station Gaming still very slow. Aqua now leading the charge instead of Jeff. Jumps on back. Weaken's here. Andy's going to spawn in about a second.
Oh, I love this.
It's going to take him a while to get up here.
I love this play from Geno. Goes into the Odin to trap in Venenu. Not going to be able to get out of that one. No Phantom whatsoever. Weaken, however, gets answered in kind. LG still thinking about moving forward. Aquarius needs to peel for his backline. BaRRaCCuDDa not feeling too cute this time because Kiki is chasing him down.
But BaRRaCCuDDa's going to be fine.
No,
he's going to take some of the damage. Inbound blows him up, but guess who's here? It's Andinster. Blink forward, pulls him in, and gives him the business. Andy, number 28 for SSG.
Aquarius with JeffHindla finds a kill onto Clout. It's only Kiki and Geno playing defense this time around for the left side Phoenix up against Aquarius and Andinster. That has a lot of damage on the Phoenix now.
Well, Geno's going to show up. Phoenix 10%, Phoenix 5%, Phoenix down to 0. Space Station get what they came for.
Oof, Geno yet again with the Odin plays. A little bit of a circle-on-circle action there as Geno still transforms to the Odin. Not a very common thing to see from Morrigan players to transform to Odins.
I mean, he's tanky. The ring, very important.
Normally, it's more bursty kind of characters, not so much control. Like, if we ever see control out of a Morrigan transformation, it's usually like Terra.
Terra's bursty, I would say.
Not
Fury!
It's utility team fight, not really burst.
I'm just messing with you.
Andinster's bursty, Weaken is bursty.
Remember those messing with Sasquatch videos?
The Jack Lynx commercials?
I like those. Those are funny.
Where did that come from?
Just messing with Sasquatch.
Oh,
bro.
okay. Those were pretty wild, I'm not gonna lie. He's so misunderstood. It's not even fair.
Who?
The Sasquatch.
Oh, I thought you were talking about BaRRaCCuDDa. What about the Sasquatch?
Why would BaRRaCCuDDa be misunderstood?
I don't know. You're over here calling him funny looking, and
I'm saying when he takes off his mask, that's a scary face.
that's so rude. I think BaRRaCCuDDa's a fine-looking young gentleman.
Listen, if he wasn't playing Medusa, this joke would not exist right now.
Oh, man, totally. I think it's just being rude, crude, and socially unacceptable.
Fire Giant already. Third one of the game for Spacestation Gaming, the enhanced one. It's their time now to really start blowing this door wide open.
Blow the whistle.
15,000 gold in the lead. And
Blow the whistle.
6 items deep all across the board. Talisman of Energy from Aquarius. Going to be getting that extra attack speed and movement speed once they clear out a wave. There goes the double blink, double taunt. Inbound going to get caught into the cage, throws out the ultimate, but Geno doing the same thing in return. Bobby very low in the backline. JeffHindla trying to keep BaRRaCCuDDa up, alive, and healthy, but Weekend bursts him down and back into the ground.
Weekend's going to get 2, but Venenu punishes him right after the fact. Kiki again gets the kill. 3 players for 1.
Man, LG are putting up quite a fight now.
31 minutes in.
I haven't seen a team defend that successfully with that kind of a deficit since like the launch tournament.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really great defense. And it's funny because I was kind of saying, Luminosity are going to have an uphill battle trying to stall this one out and get to the moment where everything's even. I said about 15 minutes. Well, it's been about 11. It was about 20 minutes when I said that, right? So it's been about 11 minutes. And SSG, they're having a hard time.
We talked about the late game damage of Clout and Weekend versus the control of all of Spacestation Gaming, but LG are starting to match the control by Geno having his own cage. As soon as he gets caged, he just transforms into Aquarius himself and gets that going.
Out.
Yeah, and then he's A-okay. Good stuff out of him.
Double the kills here. That's an impressive stat. 30-14. Spacestation Gaming have just been really piling on. They were able to collapse onto Geno so very often in the early game. But here at Atoli, Geno has been a little bit more slippery as of late. I think he was 0-4.
He was definitely not feeling pretty at the beginning of this game, that's for sure. He was getting heavily focused by Venenu.
And then as the game went on, Venenu, because he was just soloing him down. He was just 1v1ing him, right?
Pretty much.
And, well, the game has moved on. No longer Rust. Now a team game. And Luminosity trying to play defense one more time. Space Station, no Fire Giant. Just Aquarius and Hindla have it, which is pretty much no Fire Giant.
Venenu actually walks into that silence, which pops his Magai's cloak.
It's a big deal.
Full minute. Yeah, that is a big deal, especially when your beads are still down for 30 seconds and your egg is down for 45.
Aquarius going to TP to the rest of the team with Weekend on the right side. This means Space Station looking for the numbers advantage, 5-on-4. And the bird already very wounded. Jumping forward is going to be both Odins, Geno and the real one.
This is so insane. Seeing these two circles create a Venn diagram. Weekend looking for his moment, holds on to the ultimate. I like the patience now. Firebird on the left, still available. Blink taunt onto Geno, following up. Where is it?
Aquarius going to miss the ultimate this time around. Now it's trouble for Kiki. Now it's trouble for Inbound. 2 players dead on the side of LG. Luminosity might have all it needs. Left side Phoenix goes down. Right side Phoenix being assaulted by minions. SSG going to rotate.
Do they go for the middle Phoenix or do they go straight for the right side? Taunt onto Geno and he gets obliterated!
Just absolutely decimated.
Oh! Ooh, forcing out the Aegis. Venenu surviving that 3rd hit.
Clout stuck here in the ring. Still, SSG can't get too close to the Hunter. Hindla finds the taunt onto Weekend. But SSG have to retreat one more time.
Not able to hold defense this time around despite 2 successful holds from LG prior. As we're approaching the 35-minute mark, 3 Fire Giants were not enough quite yet to seal the deal. And it's because there's just too much damage still alive. Weekend and Clout can definitely hold and burst down. BaRRaCCuDDa in the backline, Venenu in the backline, making it really tricky to enter that Titan room.
Yeah, you're just not able to walk in. With Geno actively going into the Odin, you're seeing a lot of area denial as well. So Luminosity certainly working out well here in the later stages of the game. Next Fire Giant will go to Space Station. I don't think Luminosity really want to exit the base too hard.
Definitely not. Not when you got to worry about fire maidens on the left side of the map. So Clout and Geno going to take care of that one. Pyromancer goes down as they're waiting for Fire Giant to respawn. Space Station Gaming with more than double the kills out of LG. More than 16,000 gold in the lead, but they still can't squash the LG bug.
Yeah, that gold now I think a little bit irrelevant. Definitely in the jungle position. Weaken all 6 items so far. So is the solo laner. The mid laner has a mask. We'll see if that's going to be a transitional item or not. And the hunter also 6 slotted as well.
Look at this. BaRRaCCuDDa picking up a 3k defensive potion. He is tired of being focused.
Most players will tell you that the 3,000 damage potion is, I don't want to say overkill, but overkill. You're usually already doing enough damage if you're a carry. If you are a Mercury, you're 3-shotting people. If you're a 6-slotted hunter, you're 3-shotting people. And the mentality is that the defenses will allow you to stay up longer and deal that damage. Whereas if you go the 3,000 damage potion, you do a ton more damage, but you're still dead so quickly.
It just depends on the positioning that you're in. And there's too many threats for BaRRaCCuDDa that can just get into that backline. Geno started to transform into Aquarius' Odin.
Right.
Weaken, obviously, with the Sonic Boom can penetrate that backline. And BaRRaCCuDDa, his playstyle is very patient. So it just constantly diminishes the effectiveness of a 3k damage potion by him not DPSing. And look at the left side. About 2 fire beating waves are about to enter that Titan room, and that's when Space Station Gaming is going to look to strike once they see Weaken defending.
That's a big deal. Doug showing us the incredible amounts of minions coming down the left side. Right side.
Why aren't they going?
It's all Space Station.
Like, Weaken is still defending left lane, and Space Station have not penetrated the right side. Finally, going on in. JeffHindla gets the taunt onto Kiki. Ring coming out from Aquarius. Ring also from Geno on the top side. Clout with the snipes. BaRRaCCuDDa cannot catch a break.
Clout just focusing out the enemy hunter. Weaken coming down Broadway. Space Station Gaming gonna fall again. Kiki takes out Venenu. And SSG are on the run for another reset, repeat, and retreat.
Weaken looking for it. He doesn't have Sonic Boom, but he has special delivery. Andinster with the Mad Guy's Cloak, so he's not going to get pulled in. JeffHindla used the dash, so he has 2 block stacks. Could definitely keep Weaken in check. Aegis, surprisingly enough.
That's the end of the run. Gotta look for the left side now.
Very odd.
Right side, a little aggressive from SSG. Nice, or excuse me, from LG. There's a little turnaround here, taking the tier 2.
No threat in a 5-on-3 situation. It's their time to get something off the board. Put themselves in a position where if they do get the middle Phoenix, that without that extra tower on the right side, the Titan becomes a little more vulnerable, and that end call, the way they did in the first game, could make it be calculated a little bit more easier.
Can I look at the graphs one more time? Thank you, Doug. 19 minutes, this team had a 10,000 gold lead. And never gave it up. But for the next 20 minutes, LG has just dug their heels in and said, and I've been about it. Space Station Gaming cannot break in this LG base. And the whole time, LG like,
They're just very sassy. LG not wanting to go down as Space Station Gaming trying to end and get this 2-0 victory. Trying to catch up to Splice.
Yeah. Splice recently leapfrogs. Space Station Gaming trying their damnedest to get the easy trip to HRX. Of course, if you guys want tickets, hi-rez.expo.com. You guys can pick up your own tickets. Visit us in November 16th through the 18th. Totally and I are going to be there. Everybody, all of your favorite Smite personalities, and perhaps your favorite teams. It all depends on how they play. Right now in Europe, a little bit of a mix and match, but Energy looking good, Dignitas looking good. Rival looking good. And of course, here in North America, well,
Obey.
United's going.
Can't count out Obey. Obey are still in the running for the top 2.
That's true. That is true. Obey, not looking as good, but certainly
I
at
mean,
the table.
They beat out Rival yesterday.
That is fair.
That looked a very solid performance out of them.
United here on North American soil. Unmesswithable. That team is... You seen Scream earlier today, Holy?
You look like a whole other level.
It's really quite scary. That's what's so exciting for me when it comes down to HRX time is watching the teams in their theoretically top form because it's fall and everybody gearing up for Worlds play against each other internationally, right? Players, and I'm not saying they don't give 100% at the Summerland, at the Springland. There's just an extra gear when it comes down to Worlds. All these players going 150, and it's incredible to watch. I want to see United play against that European side of things.
Oh yeah,
and just see where, because that's the question Finch and I get a lot on our podcast every Saturdays 2 p.m. Finch and I do a talk show. The question the chat always asks us is, United versus Europe, like how close, how far, and totally, I got to tell you, that's a harder to answer question than you might think.
So Season 4 and Season 5 would net you different results because
Yes.
Season 4, United obviously beating Rival in the best of 5, dropping only 1 game, and looked very clean in the other 3. Now, in Season 5, it's been a completely different story.
I think the other European teams are better.
Yes, definitely agree with you there. It's not just Rival. In Season 5, both United and Spacestation Gaming have yet to really defeat a European team between the Spring and the Summer Masters. However, HRX comes around, Fall Split comes around. Teams look completely different, whether it's for the good or for the worse, because Energy in Season 4, Fall Split,
Yep.
went through the group play.
Yeah, they did.
Undefeated.
Yeah.
5-0. Dignitas lost to Rival before group play, 3-0, didn't even get a win, and then lost in group play, couldn't qualify. Elevate were the ones to topple over the black and yellow Dignitas squad. So it just goes to show that Fall Split, anything can happen.
So true. Really, really, really so true. This year the competition is rife. And it's kind of tough. LG, I don't think we're going to see there at the top. But I think this is a team focused more on the future. I am very happy. I'm very excited to see Inbowned here, affectionately known as Bobby, across the console scene, where he is a household name due to being on that World Championship Mythic squad. Ryan Jarman was there too, I guess.
Kingsmay was there. I'm
Kings
pretty
was
sure.
there. But no, what I love about this, not only because I think that Inbound is a great personality for the scene. If you're familiar with his console work, you understand what I mean. He's a very positive individual. He's been with us on the broadcast a handful of times as well. Content creator, to a certain extent. Could do more, but he does what he can. But also I think it brings the eyes. I think the console scene has its own fan base in its own right. And those fans are some of my favorite because they're so rabid. They're me, dude. They're passionate. They're loud. They're obnoxious about who they love and who they like, and that's me, dog.
It's just couch talk, living room couch talk. That's what it is. That's
Yeah.
where you play your console, on
Yep.
the couch. It's
Yep.
just a complete, open, vulnerable scene, and if you can't dish it, then you gotta, get out of the kitchen.
And so all that passion from those fans, I hope Bobby brings some of them with him. I hope he does well here, and I hope that his fans kind of follow him because Luminosity, whether he's on this team otherwise, I think the Smite Pro League right now is extremely entertaining. And I kind of want to see that passion injected into it. Spacestation Gaming now, looking for what could be their final push. They've been trying this push for over 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah. And this time, respawn timers are going to be much longer as the game progresses slowly but surely. It's going to keep going. Weekend is losing the 1v1 Typhoon for the final hit.
Andinster makes this a 5-on-4 before the battle even begins. Geno drops out the cage, which has been so successful, and Clout again focuses out BaRRaCCuDDa. It's a 4-on-4.
They're not done yet because andinster kills Clout, goes for inbound, needs to retreat for the moment. Kiki's dash gets avoided, and it's an all-on grouping to take out the little baby.
Venenu gets the kill off of the assist from top player damage Andinster. the jungle Susano. 14-3-13, by the way.
Hey, I wonder who's MVP after this game, Tom.
We'll see who wins.
Can it be the Susano, potentially? What do you think?
27 out of 36 kills. We'll
Pretty
see.
good.
Titan now being aggressed on by Spacestation Gaming. 2 players to play D. Nice ring dropped. Here comes Inbound pushing forward. Geno on the back line. He's invisible. Venenu with the big play. But that's it. This one goes the way of Spacestation Gaming.
Very good performance from Spacestation Gaming. Game 1 much cleaner than game number 2, but got to give credit to LG yet again. This time playing remarkable defense, almost ending game number 1 with a very aggressive call, but still being able to play on the defensive side. We were asking questions. I'm like, okay, but what can this team do when they're behind? We certainly saw it here today.
Yeah, exactly. Certainly just stuck their feet into the ground, decided to play defense, and the rest of the squad just kind of fell into place. Great job by Clout in general. If you want to talk about the defensive team, Clout on fire. The accuracy certainly working out, but unfortunately for him, his team, and his fans, not able to bring the game home. Spacestation Gaming 2-0 above LG.
Thanks a lot, guys, on the cast. And yeah, that was a very long set. Aggro joining me, though, on the desk this time round. Taco's getting ready for the next one already. Crazy game. It took so long for them to break the base, though.
Very. I mean, Spacestation gets off to a huge lead. Andinster is just obliterating everybody, and that didn't stop as the game went on. But Luminosity, I mean, yes, Spacestation win this set 2-0, but it wasn't easy. In LG, these roster changes, bringing in Inbound, moving Geno towards the mid lane, seems to have at least done something for their confidence level. Their defense was phenomenal in that game. In game 1 of this set, it was very nearly Luminosity winning it off a very aggressive call to try and end. So I do think that if you're a Luminosity fan, this feels a little bit bad right now because you feel like you were right there and had potential to win this game. But take a step back, look at the big picture. This team just needs to get ready for those placement stages.
It does really feel, though, that when we push past 30 minutes, all teams seem to end up about the same sort of place. Europe is the same as well. Like, the games that go longer, it really is starting to come down to just team fights and how well they can be played.
Sieging is probably the most important part of the game right now, both on offense and defense. You can get away with a really bad early game if your siege defense is good enough. And I think that we're starting to see that, less of a focus on early game, more of a focus on siege compositions.
Shockingly enough, andinster gets MVP for that game. 36,000 player damage and a ridiculous amount of kills. KDA of 7 now.
That was preposterous. That game from Andy, I mean, he really did do just about everything for Spacestation. I mean, he played this game so well. I really like the Susano up against the Morrigan, where you can really pull her out of stealth pretty easily. KikiSoCheeky is going to give you a lot of different angles to hit, even if she's in her stealth mode. Ven playing the Baron mid lane, a fan of, because, well, I just want to see Baron more in the mid lane. But it just really made this seem to work for him, and these two in particular work very well together. Yeah,
and he's had to play around that silence from Nox consistently through that game, and the timing windows. It's not easy as a Susano player.
It's often, Nox is kind of one of the few Susano counters there is out there, especially when Susano was really, really big in the meta. There was a lot more Nox play. You'll see the RDO, you'll see the Poseidon, the cripples certainly give him a lot of trouble, but Nox is a big one too, and for him to have that sort of game with Inbound on the Nox really speaks to how well Andy was playing.
Well, we're talking big about LG there, but Spacestation Gaming, they're the ones that come up with the 2-0 victory, and as we look towards the standings now, you can see they've got a bit of a gap over Splice for the moment, because Splice are about to take on CLG now, who are both sat in the mid-table.
And that's huge for Spacestation. They managed to not only win this set, but win it 2-0. If you take that game 1 and they end up losing that affects their plus-minus. Remember that plus-minus is the tiebreaker if someone is tied for second place, which looks fairly likely right now between Spacestation and Splice, though again, they do have a matchup looming next week.